My first question for you is, how has regular exercise and physical activity benefited you in your overall well-being, both physically and mentally?
To be honest, I struggle a lot with my weight, so that's why I've been wanting to go back to going to the gym and stuff like that, but I haven't had the motivation to do it. This helps me a lot with like my confidence, especially before when I go to work. I usually wear a t-shirt and a jacket and sweatpants to hide my fat. And so right now I was able to wear a lot of my clothes that I was wearing before, and I feel so much confidence in me. And that also helped with my mental status, because being confident, I was able to do my job a lot better. I was able to provide the care that the patient needs because I know what I'm doing and they know what I'm doing if I am confident in what I'm doing. And also it helps me with my energy level, especially a lot of time, special it's really hard in the beginning. I feel like I didn't have energy when I started. But the more I do it, the more I go to the CrossFit, it builds up my energy. And now I can do CrossFit and then go home and clean my house and take care of the dogs and take care of my plants. And I have a lot more energy after that.
Great, great. How about you, Christian? How have you benefited physically and mentally with the regular routine?
Well, kind of similar to Marcus, actually. So all winter, I mean, I pretty much wore my TanaBell issued jacket. I had like two or three of them, and I wore that every day, even on days that I wasn't hot. That's just what I wore because it made me feel comfortable. But yeah, I mean, overall confidence, I think, goes hand in hand. It helps me, kind of with the energy levels, like Marcus said, it gives me the energy to kind of be a better dad as opposed to sitting there and kind of like, I think of like little things of like, hey, that's across the room. I asked my son to go get it, in which I feel like a bad dad because I'm always asking my kids to do these little things that I can physically do. And then we go to work and work with people that would love to get up, walk across the room and get that thing. So I kind of take for granted what a lot of people wish they could do. So I feel like I'm starting to have the energy to do the things that I should be doing, and enjoying them. And I'm trying to find reasons not to be stagnant anymore. And working out kind of gives you that subconscious of energy levels and gives you the ability to get up and do the things you want to do.
So, Christian, I'm going to ask you this question first. What strategies or techniques have you found that are helpful in helping you balance your workout routine and your work life and your own life?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is for a long time I felt guilty for working out. I felt like I was taking time away from my family that I could be home. But you kind of have to change your mindset a little bit and realize you're working out to be around your family longer. To be a better dad, you have to be more physically able. You have to have the higher energy levels. But as far as organizing my schedule, truly to start, I think you just need to schedule it. Like I have my outlet calendar and I live by that. And I put on days that I'm going to work out and I make that important. I make that something I don't move, just like a meeting at work or something I have to do at work. I make it a priority and I make sure I do it. And if for any reason I can't do it, I feel bad about that because it's part of my schedule. So I think however you have to organize it or make it that it becomes a priority that you have to get there, even if it's just starting at 1 or 2 times a week, I think that's an important first step.
So you schedule it and make it a priority.
Yep.
Is what's
It
worked
is
for you.
it is in my schedule, and I do that with a lot of things in my life, like my kids' sports practices, my kids' games, stuff like that. I make sure it's on my calendar, so I don't forget it, and I can go home and have the conversation with my kids of, hey, you had practice today, and that's an important conversation as well. But I've incorporated that into the importance of my life and added it to a priority list.
Okay, so Marcus, what strategies or techniques have you found that to be helpful for you to balance your work life and your exercise life and your family life?
I think I'm the same page with Christian. It's just because there's so many things going on in life, right? And you have to really focus on what's matter. And for me, what's matter is my health. And so right now, I make sure that my health is taken care of because if I don't take care of myself, I won't be able to provide for my family, and I'm the main breadwinner in my family. So he said, I love scheduling it. So if I know that I'm going on Monday, Wednesday at 4:30, I set my mind to do it so that I don't have to, drag myself to get out of it because I already know I'm doing that. And then I'm also going on Friday at 12 o'clock. So if I have my mindset on that I'm going on that day, I usually be able to do it because I set myself or I already put my mindset on it. So it's gonna makes you a lot
More committed?
motivation,
Yeah.
motivated or
Yeah.
to do it.
Okay, you've talked about your energy levels being different. Have you noticed that it makes any difference in your stress management? And do you have any examples of that? Or have you not noticed that?
For me, that one, my stress level has gotten a lot lower. It's just because one of my regrets in life is not able to provide or spend time with my kids. Um, I always tell them that I'm going to the gym so I can have the energy level I need so I can have fun with them. So after going to the gym probably few weeks or a couple of months, I was able to do volleyball with my kids. I play ping pong with them, play dart with them. I play outside with them, and I have a lot more energy to spend time with them. So it's kind of like, yes, you're spending time for like 30 to 45 minutes to the gym, but you're spending a lot more time because you have energy with your family. So that's kind of like, it helps me a lot
Helps
with
you
that
with your stress level?
stress level.
Yeah, I think it helps the stress level in the sense of I feel like I'm more productive if I'm working out. I notice weeks that I'm consistent and I'm working out how I want to and I'm getting all my workout days in. Those are the days that it's a lot easier for me to be at work and be focused on my task in front of me and kind of get in, knock it out, and move on to the next task. And I think it's probably more of like a behavior. If you make reasons not to work out, you kind of make reasons not to do tasks. You kind of make reasons not to do the little things. So making it important, getting it done helps you with the stress in the sense of you embody that into your behaviors and you start to prioritize things and you're more of a checking the box, getting everything done as opposed to skipping around doing the things you want to do because they're easier first.
So that kind of feeds into my next question, but so the question was, how do you stay motivated? You both have kind of already answered that, I feel like. How did you get motivated in the very first place to decide to go to the gym? What was the thought process that was like, okay, I need to do something to get healthy? What was your thought process?
For me, I just kind of sat there one day and realized I was kind of being hypocritical. So two of the things I preach to a lot of staff members, my family, my kids especially, is one of the things is choose your hard. Life is hard no matter what. It's hard to be overweight. It's also hard to show up and work out. So you kind of have to choose your hard there. But the other thing I always preach, and I say this to my kids a lot, is don't just bring me a problem or complain about something. And it ends up to my quote I always say is nothing changes if nothing changes. Your problem is not going to go away. It's not going to get fixed unless you change something. So if I want to fix my health, I have to change something. I can't just sit there and keep hoping and praying and maybe trying something for a week here, a week there, and hoping it works. But truly nothing changes if nothing changes. So you have to change something. So making exercise an important part of your priority list or whatever you got to do, that is how I changed. I made it a priority and I started doing that.
So you just thought, this is what I'm preaching, I need to practice what I preach?
Pretty much. And it wasn't necessarily that I'm preaching to my people that work with that I work with or my kids of exercising, but as far as like I've given a lot of advice, given like, hey, your job is hard because of XYZ, let's do these things differently. And then I'm sitting there kind of realizing that all of this is reflective on like my struggle with my health. So nothing changes if nothing changes. So I had to change some things. So
what motivated you in the very very start to decide to do it?
To be honest, like I said before, I've been wanting to go to the gym because before I've been doing body pump, I go to Gold's Gym and do a lot of exercise, and I was able to be really fit, and I can fit into like medium or small. And then I went to 2X. But to be honest, that's not really the motivation that grabs me. That's kind of like added to it. But the motivation is we also have this competitive side of me that we have this weight loss challenge at work. And so what I did is I was like, I need to go be able to exercise again and lose weight. So when we started the weight loss challenge, I kind of talked to one of our coworker and got her in the same page as me, and decided let's go to Kulak and let's go ahead and do something like physically to get our body starting, and so that we can lose weight and we can just get back to what we were doing before.
That's great. That kind of feeds to this question, which was, are there any workplace initiatives or support systems in place that have helped you maintain a healthy work life and while focusing on your fitness? So one of the things that was an initiative that helped you was your coworkers' weight loss challenge.
Yeah. I think as far as having some workplace initiatives or things at work that can help you with that, I think find someone at work that you can kind of hold accountable in the sense of, for example, Marcus has been great. I mean, he holds me accountable. Hey, we're going to work out tomorrow. We're going to work out tomorrow. And truly, I feel like if I'm trying to get out of that, or if something happens, I feel bad. I feel like I'm letting Marcus down in that regard. So I think having someone you work with that you can go work out with is important, because you're there every day. You talk about it every day. It becomes more and more of a priority in your life. It becomes more of accountability, so to speak, for that for exercising. So if you could find someone to kind of have co-interest with, or co-exercising, diet plan, go on a walk every day for lunch, whatever it is, someone at work that you're doing something with, I think it's a lot easier to hold yourself accountable and then hold that person accountable as well.
Does the wellness program help at all? Does it inspire you at all?
You know,
The
that
TanaBell wellness program.
that is a really good question, because I was just thinking about it, and I was thinking that, I love that you guys put in all this wellness program. It probably didn't help like all of them in one person, but when you have like something that you really want to like hold on to, like one example is that it's not just the wellness program for physical, but also when you talk about the money market. And now that when I watched it, I was like, I want to do that. I want to be able to put in my money, and then have them have interest, and then you can still get it back and not enclose there for like the whole year or 6 months.
Yeah.
So the wellness program, I think it's just not all the time that help us, but
There's parts of it
there's
that are
part of
helpful.
this that helps us. So that I think it's good that you keep doing it. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. Have you felt like it's been beneficial at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of the same thing. I think,
You pick and choose what
yeah, I
applies
think
to you
there's,
at that time.
I mean, we talk about physical health, for example, at least 2 or 3 times throughout the year, but make sure the one section of the wellness program, of that one part about physical wellness, hits the 2 or 3 people in a certain way that it affects them. I think that's important. And if we're only affecting 2 or 3 people at a time, I mean, that's still a victor for me, because
Yeah.
we're changing lives in that regard. But I think the most important thing with the wellness program truly is making the time again to watch it, right? Sitting down and actually watching it. Don't just check it off as a box. Because again, you never know what in there is going to be effective or helpful for you. It could be everything. It could be one sentence. It could be a picture. It could be whatever. Marcus, it sounds like the money market thing was super helpful for him. So you got to watch it all to figure it out and figure out what parts tidbits of info are good for you.
Right, and you're in different places in your life at different
Sure.
times, right? So sometimes the mental, emotional will be more meaningful. Sometimes nutrition, sometimes sleep, sometimes
Right.
saving your money or
Yeah, and
balancing your
everybody's
check.
motivation's different.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
You're trying to
it
get
totally
involved.
depends.
Great. In your opinion, how does physical wellness contribute to a positive work environment or company culture?
Well, not the obvious answer, but kind of the obvious answer. I mean, our job is helping patients in a physical way and mental way. And if we're all overweight and not able to physically help them and give them the confidence from ourselves and the positive attitude that we need to be giving them, I mean, how can we expect them to then physically get better and mentally get better if we ourselves can't do that? So I think I'm really big on attitude is kind of reflective. I think attitude's very contagious. If we have this motivated mindset towards our health and towards our attitude, I think that will reflect to our patients a lot as well. So that's my biggest thing. And I would love it if everybody at Quinn, for example, worked out at Kulak, because we're right here. I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be cool to put together a Quinn class or something like that. But yeah, attitude is very contagious. So if we're all motivated and have a positive mindset, patients are going to feel that as well.
Yeah. You agree?
Yes. We treat our coworker like family. You know, we are there all the time, and we kind of see them more often than our own family because we're awake on those times. A lot of time when we go home, that's the time we go to sleep, and we don't really spend a lot of time with our family. So our coworkers become like our family. So when you see them succeed in their physical capabilities and able to take care of their patient because they're a lot stronger, they have more energy, it makes you more happy and makes our surrounding more positive.
It's all the endorphins and
Yes,
serotonin and
makes
all
you
that
really
stuff.
happy. Yeah, so I do appreciate it. And my therapists start coming and they are happy and they are the one that motivates me to do it 3 times a week now. So we all motivate each other so that we can have the body we wanted, the strength that we wanted, the energy that we wanted, and the looks that we want. And it's kind of contagious if all of you is going because you kind of can't take, accountable of each other, and it helps a lot.
So, really quickly, one little piece of advice you would give to anybody else about maintaining work life and workout life and health and all of the what you've learned in the last few months in your adventure. One little piece of advice.
My piece of advice would be, I mean, as far as working out goes, the hardest part of working out truly is showing up. If you can get to the gym and you show up and you're there, I mean, that is, to me, that's 80% of the battle because 20% is just doing it, but you're there. So I think showing up is probably the biggest thing. And then again, choose your heart. I mean, it's hard to be overweight. It's hard to be uncomfortable in your own skin. It's hard to have health issues. It's also hard to eat healthy. It's hard to work out and be accountable for yourself that way. So those are my 2 biggest ones. Choose your heart and just show up.
Probably my advice is that don't make excuses or justify. Yeah, don't justify. Don't make excuses because if you make excuses, that's when you back down and you don't want to do it. A lot of time, if you set your mind and schedule it and you really work on it, you will be able to accomplish what you wanted to do. A lot of time, I usually write down what my goal is and then be able to put in my mind what goal I have in that day. So if I make excuses to not go to the gym, I'm not gonna go. But if I said I'm just gonna go ahead and set this up, put it in my schedule, I'm not gonna think about it what we're doing. I'm just gonna show up and make sure that I do the workout, and then I'll just deal with the consequences later, especially like muscle soreness, stuff like that. But I think it's the biggest for me is do not make excuses.
Great. Thank you both very much. I appreciate your input. Okay, ladies, I'm so glad to have you here. I have a couple of questions for you about being physically healthy. The first one I have for you is, how has incorporating regular exercise or physical activity into your daily routine benefited you overall, both physically and mentally or emotionally? Go ahead, Kelsey.
Okay. Well, I've only been doing it for, 5 days now total, but I am hoping that it helps me be able to be more involved with my kids and their activities. And then mentally, I feel like I have a lot of anxiety and stress, so I feel like they do say the more you exercise, the more it's supposed to help with that. So I'm hoping that it helps me with that too. But
So we need to do a follow-up with you.
Yet to tell you, yes, because I'm only on day 5.
Awesome. But you've got good motivation for doing it.
Yes.
How about you, Lily?
Same. So I actually have a lot of health issues. And so I feel like incorporating the exercise into and making it a lifestyle is going to help me decrease my anxiety at work and at home. And just increase my overall health. That's just what I'm striving for.
So what got you what made you decide to start being physically active and working out at the gym? What was the...
We have our boss, Marcus, who started going and started just kind of throwing it out there and trying to motivate us to also do it. So we gave it a try, and
So your coworker said, let's go.
yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Do you have any examples of how your work has been positively impacted by your work productivity or your attitude while at work, by you guys being physically active? Go ahead, Lily.
Yes. For what we do as therapists, we have to have like the endurance, we have to have the strength because we do a lot of transfers. And so I feel like with the exercise, it's building up a lot of that in us, the strength and the endurance, and it's helping us be perform better at work.
Oh, great.
So.
Any ideas, Kelsey? Anything you want to add to that?
I do feel like it has given me some more energy to do the things that I need to do at work. So I feel like I'm a little bit more ready. Also, just working on good body mechanics. I feel like now that I've been focused so much on that when I've been working out, now I'm like so focused during work because of how easily you're at risk for an injury. So I feel like I've been, kind of focusing on that too.
Do you have any strategies or techniques that help you balance your work life and your home life and your exercise life?
Time management.
Time management.
You gotta have good time management. Like, we don't know how many people we're gonna get during the day, so just knowing, okay, I have this many people today, and if I'm not on the ball, then I can't go work out, which I want to work out. So just having good time management, and sometimes you just have to tell yourself that you gotta make it work. So I feel like there's a lot of ways to say I'm not gonna do it, right? Because of X, Y, Z. So you just have to say, nope, I'm gonna make it work. So what do I have to do to make it work?
Great. How about you?
Yep, and it helps that we're doing it as coworkers because we hold each other accountable, and we
So
do it as a group.
accountability
And
helps.
yes,
Great. Accountability helps keep you motivated. Okay. So how do you manage to stay motivated when life is super busy, whether it's work is super busy or your home life is super busy? How do you, I don't know if you've had time in five workouts or not, but how do you plan on staying motivated?
you just have to show up.
Yep.
Show up.
And just
Yep.
showing up, making yourself do it. For me, my kids are my motivation because eventually they're all little, so eventually they're going to be wanting to play sports and they're going to be wanting to go to a million places, and I want to feel like I'm not hurting to do things with them, or not feeling like I have the physical endurance to do things that I need to do with them. So,
What would you say to somebody who maybe misses working out a few times and they're just like, what's the point? I've already missed all last week. I didn't go all last week, so why even go this week? What's something that you could maybe tell them?
I'd say just keep in mind all of, you guys do a lot of the wellness stuff. Keep in mind everything that you learn from that. Do it for yourself. Like, you want to have reasons why you're doing this, and you have to just keep that in mind, and you have to just do it.
Don't give up.
Yeah.
You've missed it. So then, have you got any words of advice for your coworkers, for anybody else who's looking to start working out or to continue working out, or the benefits? Like, what advice would you give to somebody who's thinking, I want to get healthier?
I would say show up. Do it. If you don't want to do it alone, try to find somebody who will do it with you. Or, we're here as coworkers too. Just show up. And it's really going to make a difference when you do.
It doesn't have to be the gym either, does it?
No.
How about you?
I feel personally like it's so easy to make a million excuses as to why you can't do it. But sometimes you just have to make it fit into your schedule, regardless of how busy it is or it seems to be, because you're going to feel 1,000 times better if you do. So sometimes it's just doing it and making it fit in, because if you don't make it fit in, you never will.
Make it a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Schedule it.
Yep.
Excellent, ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you for concise answers.